Hit it, Phil.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze, it's Jackson time. La-da-da-da.
Stay tuned.
Right after this episode.
For our discussion.
From Television City in Hollywood, the Jack Benny program with his special guest Sarah Churchill, presented by Lucky Strike.
Light up a lucky, it's light up time.
Be happy, go lucky, it's light up time. For the taste that you like, light up a Lucky Strike. Relax. It's light up time.
There's a time and a place for everything. And the right time for a Lucky is any time you want to enjoy a great cigarette. And the right place for a Lucky is wherever you happen to be at the time. You'll always enjoy Luckies because Luckies taste better. Lucky Strike is made of fine, naturally good-tasting tobacco. And it's toasted to taste better, cleaner, fresher, smoother.
Yes, sir. Lucky's taste better. Anytime, anywhere. So right now, light up a Lucky. It's light up time. Enjoy the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lucky Strike program. Well, here it is, the end of January, and I'll bet that all of you people, or most of you, have been doing just what I've done. I mean, every time you make out a check, you still put last year's date on it. You know, 1955. Matter of fact, yesterday was the first time that I put 1956 on a check. That was the exact price of a suit that I bought. 1956. It was the full price. I mean, there was no sales tax or anything because they don't have that down in Tijuana. I don't know, I'm a sucker for imported things. But this suit, of course, you get the most terrific bargains in Tijuana that you've ever heard of. This suit that I bought was made out of a toreador's cape. Wonderful suit. It had 3 buttons and 4 buttonholes. That extra hole is where the bull got him. Well, so much for international trade. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to change the subject, and I'm sure I have your permission, in a few weeks from now, I'm going to England to film some television shows that are going to be done over here, going to be shown here, you see. And it's the first time that I've ever been to England to do TV shows. I've played there many, many times at the London Palladium. And, you know, I found out one thing, that when you play the Palladium in London, and I've been there many, many times, that you have to be aggressive over there, not only on the stage, but in your social activities, too, and I'm not. Like, for instance, what I mean is, like, when Danny Kaye plays in London, he gets to meet all the dignitaries and the members of Parliament, and, he meets the royal family, and they come to see him, and he's invited to Buckingham Palace, and, I don't know, when Bob Hope plays there, he has lunch with the Duke of Edinburgh, and, I don't know, these things never seem to happen to me. They almost happen. Almost, but not quite. Well, I'll tell you something you won't believe. The last time I played London, I was invited to have dinner at number 9 Downing Street. But when I'm there, of course, doing my TV shows, I'm going to have guest stars. More than one of my stars one of my guests is going to be that very, very talented actress and the lovely daughter of Sir Winston Churchill. And she happens to be here today, and I'd like you to meet her, Miss Sarah Churchill. Sarah, I want to tell you how very, very happy I am that you're going to be on my shows with me in London, and I hated to make you come down here, but I did want my audience to see you.
Well,
know?
Jack, you know it's my pleasure, and I've had such fun here today because everybody's been so nice to me. Oh, especially the fellow who insisted on buying me lunch. Now there's a nice chap for you. Stout fellow.
Stout fellow. I love those British expressions, you know?
Oh, well, I didn't mean it to be. I was just referring to Don Wilson.
Oh, yeah, you mean 16 tons. Yeah. Well, tell me, Sarah, how does your father feel about your theatrical career? I mean, does he approve?
Well, yes, I think so. Well, anyway, he's always encouraged me every step of the way. Of course, it wasn't easy in the beginning because I only played such small parts and only occasionally, but of course, in the last few years here, I've had some wonderful acting roles on television and the stage.
Yes, and now you're going to be a guest in London on my television show, huh?
Yes. My father wrote me the nicest note when he found out about it.
Really? What did he say?
Never has so much been sacrificed for so little.
Well, I must say, your daddy certainly has a quick mind. He's really very, very active.
Oh, yes, he is. He really is. He's an enormous enthusiasm for life. It doesn't matter what he's doing, whether he's painting or writing or walking around the farm. He's always busy. And, you know, I think that's the reason he stays so young.
Well, that's wonderful, really.
By the way, what is your formula, Jack, for keeping young?
I lie a little. But, Sarah, you don't have to be active, you see, doing that. Sarah, I want to tell you again how very glad I am you're going to be with me in London.
Oh, yes, I'm very excited about it. You know, I remember our first meeting in England. It was in Trafalgar Square, and you were telling me about your appearance at the Palladium and how you were such a sensation and such a terrific hit that they wanted to hold you over for an extra 2 weeks.
Funny, strange, I don't remember our being introduced.
Oh, we weren't. You were just stopping people at random.
Yeah. Now I recall. Yeah.
And then by some strange coincidence, I saw you again the very next evening. My father and I were looking out of the window, and we saw you going into the house next door. You know, number 9, Downing Street.
That's right. I was there for dinner. Did you know the people?
Oh, yes, very well. They were our help.
Well, they were certainly wonderful to me. Now, Sarah, you know, when you and I were discussing doing our shows over in London, now that they have TV commercials over there, you were explaining to me, and rightly so, that these commercials should be adapted so that they fit English audiences. You remember that?
Yes, that's right.
Well, I gave it a lot of thought, and I prepared a number that I think might be good for an English audience, and I want you to see it. Will you?
Oh, I'd love
I
to.
prepared with the Sportsman Quartet, you know.
Oh, I'd
and
love
we'll
to
stand
see
over
it.
there and watch it, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, the Sportsman.
Before we start, there is something you should know. It's that the characters we mention are fictitious by intention, and should there be similarity, they show to any living dog or Englishman you know.
It's purely coincidental, by Jove.
Ned dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. The Japanese don't care to, the Chinese wouldn't dare to.
The Hindus and Argentines sleep soundly from 12 to 1.
But Englishmen detest a siesta.
In the Philippines, they have lovely screens to protect you from the glare.
In the Malay states, they have hats like plates which the Britishers won't wear.
At 12 noon, the natives swoon and no further work is done. But mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Yes, mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun.
The toughest Burmese bandit could never understand it.
In Hong Kong, they strike a gong and fire off a noonday gun to reprimand each inmate who's in late.
In a mangrove swamp where the pythons romp, there's peace from 12 till 2.
Even caribous lie around and snooze, for there's nothing else to do.
In Bengal, to move at all is seldom if ever done. But mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. But that's enough of joking, it's time to mention smoking. From Times Square to Piccadilly, Lucky's the smoke they like.
It comes from Carolina, it's finer.
Quite right.
For the best smoke yet in a cigarette, it's the same the whole world over. The one they like is a Lucky Strike from Nottingham to Dover. It's Lucky's for better taste, it's smooth as a smoke can be. So pop on an LSMFT, 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 LSMFT. Pop on an LSMFT for the smoke you like.
Well, Sarah, do you think that commercial would appeal to our English viewers? Huh?
Well, I don't really know, Jack. So few of our mad dogs have television.
Well, I can change it after we get over there a little bit. You know?
By the way, just who are you taking with you to England?
Well, I'll take probably Don Wilson and Mary and, you know, some of my cast, and then some of my musicians like Charlie Bagby and Frank Remley over there.
Yes, that's something I wanted to ask you. I hear you refer so often to Frank Remley. Is it true? I mean, does he really imbibe as much as you say?
Imbibe?
Yes. You know, that means...
I know what it means. I know what it means. But I think imbibe is too nice a word to use, you know, when you're referring to someone who has spent 2/3 of his life on his hands and knees. You see, Frank Remley, when he was 6 months old, he learned how to crawl, and that was it. Now, see, who else am I taking over? Well, of course, Dennis Day probably be with me, and Rochester.
Oh, yes, that was the other thing I wanted to ask you. I mean, how long has Rochester been with you?
With me? Well, I'd say about 18 years.
18 years? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. You know, he's very popular in England, and a lot of people there have often wondered just how it was that you met him. I mean, how did he start to go to work for you?
Well, Sarah, that's quite an interesting story. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, yes.
Well, about 18 years ago, I was on a train coming from Los Angeles, or from Chicago, rather, to Los Angeles. In those days, it took about 4 days and 3 nights, you see. And it was the morning of the day that we arrived in Los Angeles.
Well, Henry, what'll it be this time? High, low, draw, spit in the ocean, or Central Avenue stud?
Central Avenue stud? Yeah. What kind of game is that?
Everything is wild but the 3 of hearts.
No kidding.
Yeah, once I had 7 aces and lost. Henry, you look a little tired.
Yeah, you'd be tired, too, if you had kids running up and down the aisle of your car for 3 days.
Well, I haven't got kids, but I got a man in upper six that really keeps me hopping. Every time I turn around.
Porter! Porter!
There he goes again. I'll be right back. Yes, sir.
Porter, did you send out those telegrams like I asked you to?
Oh, yes, sir.
Good. And did you shine my shoes?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Here they are, right in.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Did you get me the morning paper?
Yes, sir. Right in.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, Porter, wait a minute.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Just a minute. There you are. Sew that button on this coat.
Oh, what do you want this time?
You want me to sew this button on his coat?
That's all right. Maybe when we get off the train, he'll give you a nice gratuity.
Gratuity?
Yeah, that means...
Oh, I know what it means, but that's too nice a word to waste on a man who left an asparagus tip for a waiter. You know, that Mr. Benny's a dilly.
Yeah, I guess so.
You should have seen him at that stopover back in Albuquerque. Oh, man, you should have seen him. It was real an education to see him bargaining with the Indians over those blankets.
Oh, yeah? Did he buy any of it?
Buy? He was selling.
That's amazing. Well, where did he get the blankets?
In Albuquerque. He'd buy on one side of the train and sell on the other. Oh, man, what a smooth operator. He had those Indians believing he was Chief Sitting Bull.
All right, boys, break it up. I don't mind little cards, but I just came through your car, Henry, and the aisles are a mess.
Okay, sir, I'll get on it right away.
Rochester, can't you do something about upper six? I noticed the curtain's been closed since we pulled out of Chicago.
Well, that's Mr. Benny's berth, and he told me to keep the curtains closed.
Oh, he told you. I thought it was a request from the other passengers. Anyway, he's not in charge of this car. You are. Now, see that that berth is made up. We're almost in Los Angeles.
Yes, sir.
First call for lunch. First call for lunch.
How? Hope the train gets in on time. Gosh, I'm going to the diner. I'm hungry.
What about me?
Now, you stick your big fat head in there.
But, Jack, I've been hiding in here for 3 days.
Now, look.
You're supposed to pay all my expenses when we travel.
Well, darn, I did. I bought 2 tickets, one for me and one for you.
Then why do I have to hide?
Because if the conductor sees you, the ticket won't be any good. You look over 12. Get back in there. And shave. Always complaining. A lovely Pullman and always complaining.
Oh, Mr. Benny, now that you're out, I can make up your berth
Oh,
here.
no.
No, but the conductor told me to. I've got to make it up.
No, I'm sorry, but my son is still sleeping.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Benny, but I've got to make it up. Oh, Mr. Benny, come now. 12 years old?
He has a thyroid condition.
You see, Daddy? I told you it wouldn't work.
Are you getting... Now, look. Oh, Porter, by the way, what's your name?
Rochester Van Jones.
Rochester? Well, that's an unusual name. Were you born in Rochester?
No, Syracuse.
Well, then why didn't they call you Syracuse?
That's my brother's name.
Well, now, look,
I've
Rochester.
got a sister named Minneapolis.
Oh, she was born in Minneapolis.
No, Pittsburgh.
Well, why didn't they call her Pittsburgh?
That's a man's name.
Well, now, look,
Now,
Rochester.
there's 8 more of us kids. You want to go
No,
on?
no, I don't. There's no use making a fuss about this thing. Let's keep this just between the two of us.
No, but I can't do that. You see, that's the rules.
Oh, rules. Look, when we get off the train, we'll be in Los Angeles pretty soon. I'll give you a nice gratuity.
Gratuity?
Yes. That means...
Oh, I know what it means. I'm just worried about your conception. Look, if I don't report this to the conductor, I'll lose my job.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
He's right, Jack. He's right. You tried to smuggle me through here on a half-fare ticket, you got caught with it, and now you have to face it.
Oh, never mind. Stay in.
How?
How? Don't make a big fuss about this thing. We'll just keep it between the two of us.
Yeah, but if I do that, I'm liable to lose my job.
You will? I know, but look I know when we came from Chicago, see, I didn't mind it. We got from Chicago, but as long as we're nearly here, then we're all right. See, we can make it up then. I can pay.
Well, we'll be in Los Angeles as soon as we go through that next tunnel. We're 1 hour out.
Well, that's what I mean. We'll be in the tunnel pretty soon. Now, believe me, Rochester, look, don't say anything to him about it, see? And everything will work out just fine. Don't let the conductor know. We're in the tunnel now.
Say, well, it might be a lot of fun putting one over on that old sourpuss.
Well, of course it will. And look, we'll keep this just between ourselves. The deal, huh?
Okay, Mr. Benny, it's a deal.
All right, let's shake.
All right.
You? Yes, me. The old sourpuss.
Well, you see,
You're fired. Now get your things and get ready to leave. As for you, I'm taking this up with the station master as soon as we get in. You won't get off this train till you pay the full fare. Hello, Sonny.
Everything will be all right just as soon as we get into the...
Go to the diner.
All right, go. Rochester, I'm really terribly sorry about this whole thing.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Benny. I'll probably find another job. Of course, things are a little rough right now.
Yeah, and I kind of feel responsible for this whole thing. It's my... Say, listen, how would you like to work for me?
Work for you?
Yes. I've always wanted a butler. And you'll have an easy job. I mean, there'll be a lot of time on your hands.
Say, that sounds pretty good. I think I'd like that.
All right, you're hired.
Well, before I start to work, don't you think we ought to discuss money?
Well, yes. What do you think would be a fair salary?
Oh, I ain't gonna get that. Let's start someplace else.
Well, you see, we understand each other already. We'll get along fine. Well, anyway, we'll be in Los Angeles in about 10 minutes, so I'm going into the diner.
Okay.
What about me?
Dennis, get your head in there. They don't know about you yet. How? If they ever find out that's Remley, I'm really in trouble.
Jack will be back in just a moment, but first, here's a word to cigarette smokers.
Light up a lucky.
It's light up time.
Be happy, go lucky.
It's light up time.
For the taste that you like, light up a lucky strike.
Relax.
It's light up time.
Why is it when folks are stepping out, you so often see Luckies going along? It's just that Luckies always taste better. That's because they're made of fine tobacco. Naturally mild, good-tasting tobacco that's toasted. That's right. It's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Next time you're going out, take a pack of Luckies along with you. You'll say they're the best-tasting cigarettes you ever smoked.
For the taste that you like, light up a lucky strike.
Right now.
Light up a lucky. It's light up time.
Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm certainly glad that Miss Churchill asked me how I discovered Rochester. If not, we'd have had a very short show. I nearly forgot my lines in the middle. We'd have had a very long show. But anyway, once again, I would like Miss Churchill to come out.
Well, Jack, that was a very interesting story.
It was.
And it really is wonderful to think that Rochester's been with you 18 years.
Yes, and he's been just wonderful working with me.
But there's just something I didn't remember you telling him how much salary you were going to pay him.
Well, 18 years ago, we haggled a little bit, and we finally settled it.
Oh, when?
Yesterday. But, anyway, I do want to thank you very, very much, Sarah, and I'm so glad we're going to be together in London, really.
Oh, yes, I shall look forward to it enormously. Are you going to spend all of your time in England?
No. I'll go to other places. I'll go to Paris, probably, and Rome, and Madrid. And I don't want to miss that wedding at Monaco. I'm going to that.
Oh, did you receive an invitation from Prince Rainier?
Well, not exactly, but when I made out the invitations, I saved one for myself. Well, thanks again, Sarah. It was lovely.
Thank you, Jack.
I found out another thing about when you're appearing in England, that, when you have to, you're not permitted to bring your money back here. As a matter of fact, the last time I played in London, I had to leave my money over there, but I left it in a safe place. I buried it in Westminster Abbey. Most tourists go around with cameras. I carry a shovel. But as I said before, that I'm not only going to London, I'm going to be in Paris and Rome, and I was going to Venice, too, because I love Venice, with the beautiful watered streets and everything, but then I decided not to go because a few days ago we had Venice over here. Fortunately, I was very, very fortunate. I was the only one who lived in Beverly Hills who owned a gondola. I had to sing a little, but it was fun. And ladies and gentlemen, once and for all, I do want to apologize for the way I've been talking for years about Frank Remley and the boys in the orchestra. I always accuse them of carousing around and drinking and carrying on. And believe me, I only do this for a gag. It's just jokes, because they're a bunch of wonderful boys, real lovely family men, wonderful citizens, and really stalwart workers in civic affairs, And fine time for the drummer to fall off the stool. All right, boys, pick him up. No medication this time. See, during rehearsal, one of the rehearsals, he fell off the stool, and all the rest of the musicians hollered, "Give him an MD, an MD." I found out later that meant a bottle of Mogan David. Well, ladies and gentlemen, next Sunday, watch Aunt Southern. I'll be back in 2 weeks.
Record here. Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. We're joined with my friend John Henderson, Kathy Fuller Seeley, and again, we are blessed to have Eddie Anderson Jr., the son of Rochester, on our show, and we love this. So I try and pull out episodes that are more Rochester centric when we're going to have Eddie on here, and so we can talk about that a little bit. But he also, Eddie, right before he got on, he was talking about Don Wilson and how funny he thought he was in this episode. So certainly, Eddie, you can comment on anything you want. You don't always have to comment on just your dad or anything. I love Don Wilson. Like that's all we can do. Yeah. But this episode is how Jack met Rochester. It's one of the live episodes. I think it's from 54. Is that kind of right? Do you guys remember? 56?
January 56.
Okay. So that's interesting. January 56. So this was just
2 years before me, man.
Well, no, but it was just, I'm just thinking it was Yeah, it was a month before the episode we just presented, which was a filmed one that seems kind of light years ahead of this one. If I think about the way the production goes and everything, this really feels like one of the early sort of live ones in a way, whereas that one feels so polished and everything. It's just funny that they were a month apart. So anyway, interesting. So anyway, let's get into this one, and I'll have let's have John start us out. John, anything you want to point out in this episode that?
Yeah, I thought it was a fun episode. It's a live episode, which is always very interesting because there's a certain way that they do everything where it's the curtain and then the curtain literally goes up and there's the scene on the train. And I also think it's interesting, like historically, because we don't travel by train like that, certainly not regular everyday traveling. So like the way that people would travel on the train and they literally would change these like bunk beds into like seating areas. I thought that was such an interesting historical little snapshot.
Yeah.
And
well, for sure. And the fact that Jack even mentions, because even they're portraying, of course, a train trip that supposedly happened 20 years earlier, right, 18 years earlier or something like that. And so he has to describe to the audience, again, even the audience in 1956, what it was like. And then at that point in time, it took you, what did he say? He says like 3 or 4 days to go across the United States or something. And so you'd sleep on the train and everything, and to get people to understand that, because even in that time in 56, if you had to go across country, most people are flying and things by then. And the trains, though still in use, are used less than they were previously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting too, that just that factual information that ties into this.
Yeah, I'm always interested in these little history things. And another reference that they have in the episode.
Well, that's why I have you here, John.
Well, I'll give it to you then. The wedding of Prince Rainier of Morocco. Of course, he was going to be married to Grace Kelly, the movie actress.
Yes.
So I thought that was an interesting reference.
And it gets mentioned, for sure. Yeah. Great.
It's so funny to have Don Wilson, which you sort of half mentioned, and how I don't know how much we're getting into spoilers, but I thought it's so funny the way they slowly reveal, oh, Jack's not alone in there, and then you can't come out because we only paid for an under 12 ticket. And then when they finally open it up and he's in that like little boy outfit, it's just hilarious.
Yeah, that was that whole crowd.
I think Rochester, that it's like, he's 12. I mean, it stopped working, man. Even I'm not working. I'm not that stupid.
And even that cross, like today, that would be a little suspect. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
And they weren't scared of any of that. It ended up being 3 people in there, if you really want to talk about it. What was that, Dennis Day at the end?
Dennis Day popped his head out later, yes.
Yeah, no, it's a great way of the writers looking back into Jack's old scripts and recycling a joke that had been a radio joke years before. They had, way back in the 40s, sometime they'd done one of these traveling across country and trying to save money. But the reveal was all had to done audio about Jack in his birth. And then you hear, like, I think Dennis, and then when you hear it's Don, and then you just have to imagine the 3 of them crammed into one upper berth. And so it was great for them to do it, the first joke of for the ear, and then this way for the eye.
And to see it visually was that was huge.
Well, and it's so funny with how these shows work, how I'm getting used to them as we're watching the Jack Benny shows and realizing what we get sometimes. Sometimes when he has a guest on, he'll do the guest part. So he's playing around with the guest and talking to her at the beginning. And then they need some filler for the rest of the show. And so often at that point, somebody, I assume in the writer's room, goes, oh, let's go grab this bit that we did on the radio show and bring it in. So you often are going to get this modern, new sort of banter with a guest, followed by a throwback to the radio show. And so I'm always looking forward to that and going, oh, cool, we're probably going to get something that for us we've listened to the radio show so much that whenever they take something from that and put it on television, we're like, oh, that makes it extra interesting. It doesn't always work that great. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always interesting for us. But Eddie, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Oh no, that whole thing about, like John was talking about, that imagery was powerful. Because it caught me by surprise. It really did. When it pulled the curtain, I was like, wow. Not only that, he was dressed like a kid. He's had some head garment on or something.
Yeah. Little cap and everything.
And the fact that, John, what you said, it even allowed me to see how the trains were set up. I had no idea. And that was very educational. Because I think I've ridden on a train once or twice, but just to see how those trains would convert, into beds, and I had no idea. It made me want to ride on a train, man.
I know.
It did. I was like,
I agree. No, and you just don't see that stuff. I wish, there was more that you could see how things used to be or how they would do things. And so this kind of gives you insight. You go, oh, that's how it was all laid out. I always wondered. I always talk about sleeping in a berth and what are they talking about on it?
Right.
And the same thing on ships. They would talk about it. You have how did they work that out? I mean, I know how ships look like now, but how did they back in the 30s and the 20s and things look like? So,
I thought this was more than 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They don't want, not no train, nothing. I mean, 3 hours is a long time.
A long time.
30 seconds is a long time for a video right now.
Yeah.
You get it?
That's
Attention span is gone.
Yeah. What did you think about the part, Eddie? Your dad's part in this, where it shows him working on the train.
I loved it. I loved it because he, the way they wrote that in, the fact that he did catch too many people in that particular, but he still was not running to tell. He didn't run and tell.
Right.
He still, he told him, he said, look, you're going to make me lose my job. I'm willing to work with you.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to let you know, he didn't ask for a favor, didn't ask for a tip, but he said, I'm not going to tell, but you're going to make me lose my job, And then Jack Benny, what he did was monumental. And I think that's how things work, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly the backstory is the same story in a sort of way. You get what I mean? Let me took the risk.
Yep.
Took the risk, and that keeps coming up. So,
and it's interesting how it kind of took, because we just so listeners and viewers know, we just looked at the very first episode that Eddie Anderson was ever on from 1937 of the radio show. And he played a train porter. So that's the same, but they sort of combined. He was at train porter for a while, and then he appeared on other episodes, and finally he turned into the Rochester character later on. This is of course over 3 months. In this, they're sort of condensing it down and going, he went from the train porter to being fired by the end of this episode, and Jack hiring him and becoming what we would know as the Rochester character, which is fairly much what happened. They just streamlined it a little bit. And
Daryl, one thing that fascinates me is that none of those shows were, it's 20 years later.
Yes.
And none of these shows were ever rerun.
No.
And no one, so the show is having to go from a nostalgic memory. But that amazes me that they think that their audience would care and that they'd be so sentimental. This reminds me so much of how Jack met Mary, with that sort of same kind of level of affection. We didn't see, a couple of weeks ago, you had us play that how Jack met Dennis. And that one was done for bizarre laughs in a Chinese restaurant, not sort of the way it was. And they didn't, so as I said, I love how the Benny show over the years rewards its fans for loving the characters and loving the shows by going back to these backstories.
Well, this has got to be one of the all-time biggest callbacks they've ever had. I mean, at least with Mary, her working at the May Company, they did jokes about it forever.
All the time.
And so it would be very easy for an audience. It would be hard for an audience, if you're a fan of Jack at all, to not realize that she started out of the May Company. And when they show that that's how he met her, that's great. It's not like with Rochester that they mentioned, oh, remember when I met you and you were a train porter, and jokes about, they hadn't done that. So really, this is saying, okay, we hope you remember this from 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah. So. It's like,
okay. The Jack Benny Show doesn't usually care that much about continuity, but when there's something that they do sort of, explain, I think that it's interesting. Go ahead, Kathy.
The gap would be that it was constantly mentioned in radio fan stuff about Eddie Anderson, every profile and story of him. So it was not in the show, but again, rewarding fans. Because if you read any of the fan magazine stories, you would know that they always said his first role was as a train porter. You know what I mean? So they filled it in.
So it's an interesting way to sort of bridge that gap from they never said his name wasn't Rochester when he was a train porter. So it is Rochester. And this is how he became Jack's valet. I think that's so fun. And it's fun to have.
That's true. They never gave him a name. They just called him Redcap, I think, the whole time in that first episode. Yeah.
It's fun to have this opportunity where Rochester doesn't know Jack yet. And so they can do a gag like he's waiting for a tip and it ends up being the button. Oh, I guess he's cheap, things like that.
Yeah, it's always neat when you go back and retcon in or whatever the experience of them first meeting and things. So I mean, that was delightful, that how that whole interaction between Jack and
or the funny little wordplay about the names of cities and his name being Rochester.
Yes.
And then the hilarious ending, and his delivery is just so funny where he says like, Pittsburgh, that's a man's name. Like, as if everybody knows that Pittsburgh is a man's name. That's so funny.
Oh, I love that. There were certain things. And then of course, I didn't get even why they needed it or why they had it. The whole Indian thing where they come how and that whole thing.
Yeah, no, well, that was another awkward callback to the fact that oftentimes when they'd be on the train and going through Albuquerque, 20 years ago, they used to mention that there'd be Indian souvenir pottery for sale. But having the Indian walk through, no, that was kind of lame. But as I said, 20 years before, they used to work it into the description of, we're going through Albuquerque. That's what
and it's just now modern audience look at it, it feels culturally insensitive. But of course, at the time, I mean, we always got to look at it and take time into perspective, because it's like they weren't trying to do that. But it just kind of falls flat. So. Go ahead, John.
I'm curious, Eddie, because your father was so prolific, he did tons of movies. There's tons of episodes of the Jack Benny Show, both in radio and television. I'm curious, how much of his material have you seen? When did you start getting into it? And especially with radio, it wasn't on when you were a kid. How much have you heard, and when did you start listening?
I missed a lot of the radio stuff. I did. Just of recent last 5-6 years, maybe, went into the radio stuff. As far as the television shows, I grew up with the Jack Benny Show. I literally did. And it was, remember, television was probably one of the first babysitters. I mean, you know that. I mean, that's where it started. So. Right. There weren't a lot of stations in 1958. There were about 4 or 5, maybe. So the Jack Benny Show, I mean, I would see it often. I would see it so often, I would actually wanted to see it with my father, which he refused to watch it. He wouldn't watch it. He wouldn't watch it with me. But my sister.
He didn't like to watch himself.
He didn't like to watch himself in nothing. So Pops had a little weird thing going on. I was like, let him have that. You get it? That's just one thing. But yes, I did. I saw a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
I've probably seen all of them, really. Right. I just probably don't remember. But I was always tuned in to Gone with the Wind, Cabin in the Sky, all the big ones. Topper 1, Topper 2. Yeah, I've all seen them more than once. And
that's such a gift for you. That my dad's 94, and so hopefully he'll be here for a number of years.
Wow.
who knows? And lately I've started going over and having conversations with him about the past and about what it was like growing up and things. And I've been recording those so that I have that to listen to in the future. Because I'll have some photographs and maybe in like videos, like in all 8mm videos, you might get it's always focused on the kids. And so maybe dad's walking across the screen at some point. So you see him walk across, or you see him holding one of the kids in his lap or something for a minute, but that's all you see. And so when my dad's gone, I won't have a lot. I mean, I'll have some pictures, like I say, and I'll have this audio stuff that now I've recorded, which is going to be a wonderful comfort to me. But the fact that you and anyone who has a father that's a actor or mother that's an actress or whatever, but you have all this preserved things where you get to see him at all these different stages of his age. You get to see him as a young man. You get to see him as he was when, well, certainly the later seasons of the Jack Benny show, you would have been like 6-7 years old or something. Mm-hmm. So you're like, oh yeah, I remember when Dad looked like that when I was a kid and things a little bit. Absolutely. So I think that would be a wonderful, I would think a wonderful blessing and a treasure.
It is. It truly is. Absolutely. It's there are no words to kind of express the gratitude that you get by having that thing that you spoke of in your life. You get what I mean? To see the total dynamics, not only just see him on television, but the impact too. All of those things that are concentrated in this whole Eddie Anderson realm, this sphere. It's crazy. I mean, we could sit here and do a whole different show on that alone. You get it?
We probably will.
Yeah, and that would be interesting. I would love to try to do something like that. So in answer to your question, amazing. Totally amazing.
I'm so happy you feel that way. I mean,
thank you.
I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, everybody mentioned all the comments and everything from the recreation that people have seen. Mm-hmm. Or just hearing you talk about your dad and the caring that you have and the things you've done, like trying to preserve the historical home that your dad had, and people are just very touched by that, and that's what you hope, right? You hope you're going to not be one of those kids that are like, oh, Dad was horrible and he never spent any time with me, and now I hate him, and I'm going to write a book about how terrible the guy was. You hope that that's not going to be the case. You realize in Hollywood sometimes that is the case, but in your case, that's not.
I have
it's a wonderful
story. I have a father that was so much of a human being. It's kind of scary because you don't find that. You want it, you crave when you meet certain people, because you've been exposed to an entirely different level of spirit. So I find myself giving people too much credit too soon. You understand what I mean? Only to find out the character is tainted with a whole lot of stuff. But being around and being raised with such a man of principle, you automatically, you crave that. You want that kind of thing, but there's not a lot of it in this world. You know what I mean? You see it with war and everything going on. You just don't have that. So I'm very fortunate, very grateful to have experienced that. I don't have so much expectations anymore. For that thing that I said I'm looking for it. I'm embracing that I had the opportunity, and I'm thankful that I was able to do that for 19 years. So that's huge. That's huge. That's it.
That's great. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, that is a great place for us to probably end this episode, unless anyone has anything else to add. Kathy, you have anything else you want to mention or anything?
No, thank you. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Eddie, whenever you stop by and we have these conversations, I just I'm so thankful for the depth you bring to them, for the, it just never feels like you're phoning it in. It always feels like you're here and you're really sharing what it was like to know your dad, to honor, and you honor him and his memory, and you honor us just by being here and sharing some insights with us. So thank you again so much.
And I bless you guys as well.
Okay.
It wouldn't work without you guys. Trust me.
Yeah.
The team.
It's a team. It's a team. Yeah. And like I say, I'll keep sending you invitations to all the meetings. Anytime you feel like, hey, I got a Saturday morning free, I'll stop by. Stop by. We'd love to have you. So thank you. Enjoy the episode. An interesting episode for sure of how Jack met Rochester, and a rare episode that it's not in the syndication package. For a long time, I never saw it. It's someone posted it on YouTube, maybe 5 years ago, and that's the first time I'd ever heard of it or saw it. And it's the last one in our series of how Jack met whoever. We had how Jack met Dennis, and how Jack met Mary, and how Jack met George Burns, and now we finished the series with how Jack met Rochester. I just wanted to hold this one back until we could get Eddie here, because I just thought it was an important enough episode that we wanted Eddie's.
Yeah, you got me, Daryl. You stayed on it. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
I felt like I was being a little bit of a nuisance, but I was just trying to say.
Does not play.
I stick on it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.
Appearing on tonight's program are Roy Flynn, Will Wright, Manny Rubin, and George Comfort. Remember, 1 week from tonight on this same station, be sure and watch Ann Southern and Private Secretary. Jack Benny's next television show will be in 2 weeks.
Filter smokers, the whole town's talking about filter tip Tarleton, because all the pleasure comes through. The taste is great. Yes, filter tip Tarleton with the pearl gray activated charcoal filter smokes milder, smokes smoother, draws easier. Filter tip Tarleton is the best in filtered smoking. Remember, all the pleasure comes through. The taste is great.
The Jack Benny program has been brought to you by the American Tobacco Company, America's leading manufacturer of cigarettes. The Jack Benny program has been selected for viewing by our armed forces overseas.